everyone, and welcome to episode number 9 of my creative podcast, the PiaKnits. First of all, I want to say a special hello to my family in Zagreb and also to a creative lady friend also living in Zagreb. So hello everyone, and hello Jelka, dobar dan. So hello everyone, my name is Mariam and I am a piano teacher, but I have a passion for making hats, for sewing, but most of all I have a passion for knitting. And in my podcast I would like to talk to you about my experience, about the creative work that I do, and sharing some ideas and information. I forgot to say that I live in Belgium and my native language is Dutch, but I do my best to make also my episodes in English. I will mention all the materials that I work with, but I am not sponsored. I buy everything myself. And also the music that you hear in my videos is composed by my son, especially for my podcasts. So also, yes, I almost forgot to mention, on social media you can find me, of course, here on YouTube, but also on Instagram as the PiaKnits. So thank you very much for joining me today for episode number 9. Well, yes, to be honest, I've always feel a bit nervous when I start talking into the camera for an invisible audience, so I hope it is not too obvious, but I will do my best. So today I would like to show you the projects that I have been working at during the past weeks, in fact since episode 8. Well, the first project is a knitted hat that I made for my daughter. My daughter Viola is living in Sweden, and during cold Swedish winters it's always nice to have a warm hat. But my daughter has a wool allergy, and that's why she asked me, "Mama, can you make a cap or a tam or beret for me in a material that is not irritating my skin?" So I have decided to knit a beret in 100% acrylic yarn. And yes, I have to mention, I used the yarn from a Belgian company, Annell. I used the yarn Rapido Plus. I will mention all the information in the description below the video. And I have been knitting with needles that are a little bit too small for the thickness of this yarn, because I wanted to have a fabric that is more that is warmer, and that it keeps the form for the hat, and also that it would keep out the wind a little bit more. But it was harder to knit with the smaller needles with this thick yarn, because the stitches were very tightly on the needles. But I have a good result. So this is the finished knitted beret for my daughter. She asked a black beret, or black tam, if you would say it like that, because she has a scarf in a black and white motif, and that would fit very well with a black beret. So what did I do? I made the pattern myself, and because we have the same, my daughter and I, we have the same head circumference, it was practical for me to decide how many stitches I had to cast on. So the first thing is, of course, cast on your stitches for your size, then make a little border. I choose to make it with 2 knit and 2 purl. Then in the first round that you continue knitting, only knit, no purl stitches, I have increased stitches. 2 knit, make 1, 2 knit, make 1. And then you continue until you have 11 or maximum 12 centimeters in knit stitches, stockinette stitch, and then you can start your decreases for the top. You can make decreases in different ways. You could divide this circle in 4 or 6 or 8, but I decided to make the decreases in concentric circles. It means, so the beret is knitted completely in the round, and it means that I have 1 round to decrease and continue just knitting for 2 centimeters or 2.5, and then you do the next round decreasing, and so on, 4 or 5 rounds until you are left with a few stitches that you can close with the end, with the end of the yarn. And then your beret is finished. What you can do to have a nice finish is block the beret. And I have cut out of a piece of plastic, I used a table mat of 26 centimeters or 25 centimeters from here to there. I don't know how to say that in English. But you put the circle in the beret, yeah, and then with some water, you spray some water on the beret and you leave it to dry just in the air, and you get a nice and even finish of the beret. So I think my daughter will be happy. This is ready to send to Sweden, and if you like, I could put it on my head so you can see how it is when you wear the beret. Black is not the best color for me, but my daughter looks fantastic with black. So I will put on the beret like this. So, and then you can change the styling a little bit to the right or to the left. So this is the black beret for my daughter Viola, and it's almost on its way to Sweden. So the next project is also a knitting project, because at the moment we have very grey and rainy weather. It is really like autumn weather, and always during autumn I am more motivated to knit. So the next project, knitting project, is a sweater, a little sweater for my grandson, also living in Sweden, a sweater for Felix. And this is it. You see? But it's not finished yet. I made a mistake. So I started at the neckline to knit in the round top down. But I made a mistake by, also the pattern I have made myself, and I made first swatch, knitting on 2 needles with the working yarn in the right hand, and I made my stitch count for the sweater according to the gauge of this swatch. but I forgot that when you knit with 2 needles, with the working yarn in the right hand, or you knit with circular needles with the working yarn in the left hand, you change your tension. So I have based my stitch count on this, and when I knitted until the complete depth of the yoke, I realized that the sweater would be too small. So what did I do? I increased some more stitches here, and I just continued to knit the sweater in a better size, because my little grandson Felix will be 2 years in a few months, at the end of December. So this is the right size, but the yoke is too small. So what am I going to do? I will pick up the stitches with my circular needles, 240 stitches, and I will re-knit the shoulder, the yoke, the round yoke. And I think I will change the motifs also. Why not? New inspiration. But the colors are nice. I will show you the wool. So these are my leftovers, and I'm sure I will have enough for the yoke. So it is green, yeah, green, beige, or and yellow, but a dark yellow. I think it's a nice combination. So yes, so the beret is knitted with acrylic because of this wool allergy, but this one is knitted with 100% wool, but very soft wool, merino wool. And I used this yarn. So again, I am not sponsored, but as we learn from each other, we can share our experience. It is Katia Prime Merino, and in a bowl, on a bowl of 50 grams, you have 120 meters. And I have been knitting with needle size number 4, I guess. And it is very nice and soft wool, and warm. I think it will be very warm. So wish me luck with the re-knitting of the yoke. I hope it doesn't take too long to do that, so that I can send it together with the black tam to my daughter in Sweden. So these are already 2 knitting projects. So maybe if you watched episode number 8, you will remember that I talked about granny squares, that I wanted to crochet granny squares, just to have something to do that was not too difficult and I could relax, a small project. So I have done that. I have been working at my granny squares, and I will mention everything in the description below the video, but the yarn that I worked with was Budgetyarn Acrylic DK budget yarn, and I bought 17 skeins of 50 grams, so I had 17 colors to play with. And I have made in total, I guess, something like 104 granny squares. I've counted all my squares yesterday, and the multicolored squares I have 56 squares, and then I have, if I remember correctly, 48 granny squares that I have been that I crocheted in solid colors. So as you see. So what am I going to do now? Because I didn't have a plan, and I didn't want to have a plan for the blanket. I just wanted to improvise and play with the colors, just relax, sitting relaxed, very relaxed and playing with colors. I didn't have a plan to make an arrangement for a blanket, so I think it will really be a crazy granny square blanket. But somehow I want to make it a little bit in balance, so I will have to put it on a table or maybe on the floor to see how I want the design to be. And then, when I have decided, I will connect all the squares with the crochet stitch and maybe at the end make a border. And I would like to do that because every multicolored granny square I ended the last row with white. I think I will connect the granny squares with white. I have enough left over, I hope. But I also have two bowls of kind of silver grey. And I'm not sure how I will finish the square, but I will play with these two colors, I think. So this is something, work in progress. While experimenting with these multicolored granny squares, I found a system that I could have used also. Because if I have in my granny square, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. And I start in the heart, then I have 2, 3, 4, and 5 is all. I chose to do the 5th row always in white. But wait, I have to rearrange, yes. So if you keep this order of colors, pink, very light green, a little bit darker green and orange, you could change with these 4 colors. You pick the 2nd row, that is the light green, and you do light green in the heart, and you continue with the other colors like this. So then you pick the next row, and that is the darker green, and you put the darker green in the heart, and you keep your yeah, I cannot find the word, but you continue with the sequence of the colors. Then the last color that you take is the orange, and you put orange to begin with in the heart, and you have so you have 4 different squares with 4 colors that you change in order. That is it, like this. It could be a good idea to just buy 4 colors or 5, because you end always with the white, and you would not have such a crazy color combination. I think maybe more balanced. So that is what I discovered while I was playing with the colors in my granny squares. So yes, and last but not least is the biggest knitting project that I am working at right now, and that is my cardigan, a cardigan in 100% wool that I am knitting for myself. This is not a free pattern, it is a pattern that I bought, no, I got it as a gift from my daughter. She bought it on Ravelry for me. So I have started, I guess, in the month of May already. But it is, I continue working at it, but everything goes rather slowly, of course. There are a lot of stitches on the cable. So, but for now, yes, I also started from the top, the neckline, and I knit completely in the round top down. Now I finished the yoke completely, and now I am at the point that I have divided the stitches for the sleeves. Here are the stitches for the sleeves that I have put on a piece of contrasting color waste yarn. So I will take later, when the body is finished, I take up the stitches of the sleeves to knit the sleeves until the cuff. Okay, I work completely in a round, but it will be a cardigan with a button band. So at the I knit steek stitches. It is called steek stitches, and at the end of the process, I will have to cut open in the mid front to open the sweater to a cardigan. Of course, I must say it is the very first time that I will do this technique, so it is an adventure. Also, the size and the fit. I have put it on yesterday and checked the size and the place of the stitches for the sleeves. Up till now, everything seems fine. It fits well. But we will see at the end of the whole process. So, but I will continue telling you all about my progress on this project. Yes, in episode number 8, I was talking also about a pattern that I was making with the cowl neckline. So this now is a little bit I stopped working at that because it is autumn weather and I am more motivated and inspired to knit at the moment. But I will continue with this pattern for the top for myself with a cowl neckline, and then I will tell you about it. So this is it for today. I hope you liked my video and that I have been able to inspire you to trust and enjoy your own creative talents. So thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all a lovely day, and I hope to see you again for my next episode number 10. So see you later. Bye.